Every morning, millions of us start our day locked in a standoff with the bathroom mirror. We tilt, squint, and zoom our phone cameras just a little bit further and just ask ourselves if we can fix anything. Then we list the nose, the eyelids, the chin, in my case, the entire jawline. Oh God, it's too bad. I gotta look away.
Why am I so ugly? Every day, I stare into the mirror, pondering, how come every other girl is so gorgeous and then there's just me? My parents are both so pretty, so I don't understand why I'm not. I'm so disgusted with myself that I cry myself to sleep every single night. I cover my true identity with fake feelings and a fake personality. And I even cover my whole face up with the power of makeup. I cannot leave the house without it. I've become addicted.
Dermatologists now call those tiny sessions micro-dysmorphic episodes. They're the first domino in a chain that can end with a surgeon drawing lines down the middle of your face.
Okay, so obviously body dysmorphia is a real thing, but why is no one talking about face dysmorphia? I know I'm not talking about the inverted filter thing. I obviously see myself in the mirror every day, and I'm like, yep, okay, I think I know what I look like. That looks like me. And then let's say I'm out with a friend, and she takes 20 photos of me. Most of them I'll be like, yep, okay, that's what I think I look like. And then there will be like 5 where I'm like, hold on, that is a different person. That doesn't look anything like me. Like that's different than what I see in the mirror every day. And then there will be 3 more where I'm like, that's also a different person. Like that doesn't look like me either. So which one do I look like? And she's like, dude, what are you talking about? Those all look the same. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like you're telling me that all 3 of these people you think look the same, look like me. Meanwhile, 2 of them I feel like I've never seen in my entire life. And now to this day, I've always been confused about like what I actually look like. I'm genuinely like, I'm not sure what I look like.
How do I fix it? I'm always obsessing over my looks. It's like every single day. The face dysmorphia is so real. I like what I see in the mirror, but photos make me so unsure of my appearance. Oh my God, if I could like that a million times, I absolutely would. That is literally me. And this isn't the only example of this. There's also something called filter dysmorphia.
This face is a typical example of filter dysmorphia. You may ask yourself, how does someone end up posting a picture with such a high amount of filters? Well, the truth is that this person is probably not aware that their face does look completely unnatural. And so allow me to explain. This is because they experience filter desensitization, where they start with small amounts of filtering and gradually get accustomed to the filtered version of their face. As a result, they increasingly need more filtering to feel like their face is attractive relative to the standard baseline that they're now used to, which leads to the effect where people don't even realize how many filters they've used. Oda and colleagues have found that the use of beauty filters distorts facial attractiveness perceptions and does literally change the way your neurons function. More and more of the doctors we talk to are even telling us that their patients now come to them requesting procedures to look like their filtered images. This effect is similar to what we see with fillers or plastic surgery. No one starts out thinking they're going to look like an alien, but once they get used to their new appearance, they can fall into a dangerous cycle of always needing more. That's why we often say that a good plastic surgeon is the one who can say no. If your aesthetic doctor agrees to do everything that you ask for without question, then you should probably consider changing practitioners.
Michaela Nogueira is for sure a victim of filter dysmorphia. So is Khloe Kardashian. But every time I see their pictures, I'm always like, girl, come on. One eye's always doing something weird. Michaela's always hitting that smize. And it's like, that doesn't even look like you. I know what you look like in your videos, but that does not look like you. In 2023 alone, the world booked almost 30 million cosmetic procedures, which is triple of the volume performed at the turn of the millennium, and up 23% in a single year. Holy crap. We are living through a boom that some analysts compare to the smartphone revolution. Except this time, the upgrade isn't on iOS, it's in our own flesh. When I first got plastic surgery, I never thought I'd be this addicted. Round 19, here we come. That is insane to me. 19? How did this even happen? How are there so many girlies around the world that are struggling and fighting their own faces and trying to reach this weird level of perfection that seems completely unnatural and borderline impossible? Well, buckle yourselves up, besties, and prepare for impact. Because today we're cracking open the syringe-shaped pinata, known as today's modern beauty culture. We'll trace how a single little tweak mutates into a 10-procedure package, why rhinoplasties kind of work like gateway drugs, and how the billion-dollar anti-aging racket keeps us convinced that growing older is some sort of clerical error. Welcome to the era of micro-adjustments. Lip flips, gummy smile Botox, Barbie Botox for the trapezius muscles. I feel like I've heard it all at this point. You guys are running me through hoops.
People are always like, oh, normalize this, here are some things we should unnormalize. Number 1, and this is the only one I'm going to talk about, plastic surgery. Plastic surgery is dystopian. dystopian. That is some dystopian ass shit. Is something that would be the plot line of some movie that Will Smith is in, where he's wearing a robot costume, carrying around a gun, saying shit like, oh, that's not good. I've seen those videos of that plastic surgeon. I don't even know if she's a plastic surgeon or just someone with a lot of needles, but she will take like fake pictures of celebrities' faces and then Photoshop it to look like what she would want them to look like. She's like, ooh, here's all the procedures I would do to remove everything unique and good and human about this celebrity's face. That's weird and psychotic.
Then we all end up looking like the exact same fembot robot girlies. That doesn't make any sense. I don't want to look like everyone else. My mom wanted plastic surgery on features that I got from her. How is that supposed to make me feel about myself? That's horrible. They say it's for myself, but if we were the only person alive ever, or if every feature was seen as beautiful, they would never think to get it. Each tweak costs less than a brand new iPhone case, takes less than 15 minutes, and pretty much begs to be posted all over your TikTok page. But here's the plot twist that nobody ever puts under the ring light. One procedure simply rewires how you look at every other feature.
Let me tell you why I think people get addicted to lip filler. You get some lip filler for the first time and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm actually pretty cute. So then you go back and you want some more. Maybe second time you go around, you're like, oh, this looks even better. And the more you do it, the cuter you tend to look. And you're like, wow, like, okay, so if I keep doing it, I'm just gonna look phenomenal by the end, right? Wrong. Your lips have a threshold and your lips can only handle so much before it's gonna start looking not natural, overfilled, and then eventually it's gonna migrate if you overfill it. It's gonna stop contributing to your beauty and actually start taking away from it. Now, it's not necessarily your responsibility as a patient, as like a girly, to know how much your lips can handle. That is why going to a provider who can evaluate your lips and be transparent with you and tell you whether or not doing more is going to benefit you or if it's going to start to look like not so cute anymore is so important.
Dissolve a laugh line and suddenly your cheeks look really flat. Plump the cheeks and then the nose bridge looks too wide. And the cascade starts just like that. I also like to think of it as you having your same face for 20 plus years and then you decide to change it. It is very hard to accept and get used to a brand new version of your face. And once you realize that you can kind of morph it into whatever you want, not only are you unstoppable, but you never get to actually sit and enjoy your face for long enough to actually enjoy what it is now. Like, God, it's taken me 27 years to accept my body. I feel like if I changed anything on my face, it would take me forever to figure it out. Since 2019, filler injections have grown so fast that hyaluronic acid shipments are tracked on commodity charts. Botox appointments surged 73% among patients under 30 last year. Turkey exports surgery tourism packages, while Miami clinics offer Black Friday deals for BBLs.
Walking around in Istanbul every few hours, you end up seeing something like this.
Why is everyone coming here for surgery? Well, a hair transplant in the US could cost around $20,000.
And if I were to get that same treatment here in Turkey, that would cost me less than $2,000.
Turkey is a popular place for surgeries. It's called medical tourism.
People that are bargain hunting for surgery as if they are buying a phone charger from Alibaba. Darwin Awards all over the place. Honestly, like, there is no bartering when it comes to your health. Of course, things cost different prices all over the world, but things gotta be up to code, girl. Aesthetics is no longer some skincare and just a couple bottles of product. It's an industry worth $67 million US and climbing. And at this point, all of it is really starting to feel like some really creepy episode of Black Mirror. We've normalized the use of scalpels the way that previous generations have normalized braces. Not that braces and plastic surgery are anything alike. Anyone at any age is only a credit card swipe away from changing their entire bone structure. But here is the catch. The satisfaction is not climbing alongside the numbers. In adults over 40 years old, 1 in 100 rhinoplasty patients will go ahead and get a second rhinoplasty to correct the first. And in teenagers, that revision percentage actually balloons to 10%. No procedure illustrates the slope better than the good old nose job. A single bone cartilage shuffle looks deceptively simple, yet meta-analysis show post-operative dissatisfaction can hover between 10 and 15%. And rhinoplasty patients screen positive for body dysmorphic disorder at double the rate of the general cosmetic population. When you get surgery to remove all your loose skin and excess fat, but still have severe body dysmorphia.
Normalized fillers, Botox surgery to such an insane degree, and I feel like I'm being gaslit 24/7 on this fucking app by people saying, this is what I had done, but I'm not saying you need to get it done. And also, why does everyone care about what other people get done? Like, it's their bodies. No shit. We should not care what other people get done. It's their bodies. My friends who get work done, this is not against them. The second a friend gets work done, great. That was their choice. I'm happy for them. I'm fully supportive. It usually looks fucking amazing. Great. But that's also what's kept me from talking about it. But every time I see another creator on this app broach this subject, I feel a sense of relief. If I could be another person that's adding to the online space against getting all this shit done at a young age, then let's do it. When people come on here and say, this is what I had done because it's something that I've always been insecure about, I'm not saying you need to have it done. Let's just at least admit that that statement doesn't make sense. Because why are you insecure about it? Why are you insecure about it? There's a lot of reasons, right? And obviously there's varying degrees of different things people are insecure about, you know, because it doesn't fit the beauty standards. Who's perpetuating those beauty standards? Other people who did the same. Other people who had work done.
If we fix the bridge bump on our nose, suddenly the tip starts feeling bulbous. Refine the tip and then the nostrils flare out. Address the nostrils and then the chin looks weak, and on and on and on. It is such a vicious cycle. The nose becomes a moving target because the true itch, anxiety about worth, never resided in cartilage to begin with. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill of appearance. Each goal that you achieve rests the baseline for normal. At first, getting a nose job obviously feels like a very heavy and scary procedure. But after the first time, it starts to feel normal. And once you go get your jaw contoured, buccal fat removal, a little bit of lip filler, the idea of permanently changing the way your face looks seems as simple as going and getting a facial. But here's the irony, most of your flaws are just biology and genetics. When we steam press every face into one universal template, a tiny ski slope nose, a heart-shaped jaw, almond eyes, we erase all of our unique features to fit into some beauty standard that's literally going to change next year.
My biggest insecurity is that my face is asymmetrical, extremely lopsided. This inverted filter shows the difference. You can tell which side my face is because of my piercing. While my right side is more lifted and skinny, my left side is fatter with big cheekbones. I look in the mirror all the time and wish I had a tiny cute nose and a face that isn't broken. I choose to sit down to obsess and scrutinize the imperfections. Makeup hides this, but reality, I will always have an extremely lopsided face.
And that is exactly the reason why we've been seeing so many influencer clones all over social media. But that also begs the question, why do we so badly want to look like celebrities? Sure, they're beautiful, but that doesn't mean that we have to look like them. Well, it's because of status. Celebrities symbolize the mega rich and powerful. They're chic and everybody wants to be like them, including how they look. So the reality is these celebrities and influencers are also caught in the loop too. Celebrities are expected to look flawless. When Kris comes out looking 25, every other influencer younger than 30 is suddenly worried that they're going to be called old, that people are going to think that they're uglier than a woman twice their age. Marnie Simpson taught us the first rule of the new beauty economy. One procedure breeds another. She adored her real boobs, real hair, and real butt at 20 years old. 5 years, 3 television seasons, and thousands of hateful comments later, and she had liposuction scars, a brand new nose, migrated lip filler, and a planned chin shave. And don't even get me started on Miss Ariana Grande. The girl basically created the entire doe-eyed, poreless look that so many girls on TikTok are chasing today. And what about the real Ariana Grande lookalike, Paige Neiman? Now that's getting exceptionally weird.
I don't care.
You look like Ariana Grande.
You're in? I don't care.
Okay, got it.
It's all because the biggest names in Hollywood have started to normalize it, so even lower level influencers will copy them. It all makes us go, if this celebrity looks poreless and perfect, then why can't I? And then if you're watching somebody who lives in a small suburban town getting all of the same fillers and all of the same work done, you think, if she's doing it, then why can't I? We become what we behold, and everything that we consume on TikTok becomes our daily reality. And for women, that means that we think these perfect faces and bodies on the red carpet are normal, that we are the ones who are abnormal for not looking as perfect as them.
I am plastic surgery's #1 hater. I don't hate people who get plastic surgery. They're just victims of an awful and judgmental system that we happen to live inside. But I will always hate the plastic surgery industry, including surgeons who get on this app and glorify plastic surgery as some amazing thing that you should always aspire towards. It's so predatory towards women, and the way it's marketed is an ultimate example of capitalistic greed. It strips people of their individuality and heavily reinforces misogynistic and racist beauty standards. Like most girls, I spent years and years hating my face, thinking every single moment about how I can get plastic surgery as young as possible in order to fix what was never broken. My nose is not the tiny little button nose. And you know what? I've grown to love it. But plastic surgery for years was my main goal in life. I will never think it's healthy for children to grow up with the plan to change their features that function perfectly fine. This stuff should be used for reconstructive surgeries or relieving physical discomfort like a breast reduction or relieving gender dysphoria, not for purely cosmetic reasons. Cosmetic surgery is not something that's ever truly given actual power to women, and it's time for us to wake up and see that.
Dr. Miami's my biggest op, not gonna lie. You guys have to know that this is a massive business for these plastic surgeons, especially the ones that are on their marketing train that are constantly posting. They post so you know about them, so when you think to go and get a procedure done, you think of them and you go to them, and you'll travel so far to LA to go to see Daniel Barrett, pay God knows how much money to get him to, I don't know, reconstruct your nose. Somewhere between 2014 and now, looking rich went from wearing beautiful pearl necklaces to having the exact same face as the richest icons in the world. It started meaning a very specific facial blueprint: airbrushed forehead, fox eye tilt, canyon deep under cheek hollows, and an upper lip shaped like a cartoon heart. Literally just think of Bella Hadid. And the unofficial mascot, Miss Lauren Sanchez, journalist turned Bezos' wife, a walking advertisement for volumetric physics.
We're so connected, more connected than you realize, because you just see right here, you see like, you know, states and all these things that like divide us, but we're not.
Not nearly as connected as she is with her plastic surgeon. Fuck all the way off. Bro, that kills me. Listening to billionaires talk about connectedness while they allow people on the street to languish, die, and starve. Exactly. What happened to her face? Bro, Lord knows what she was doing to that face. One paparazzi frame of her 55-year-old face sparked tons of deep dives. But the real cautionary tale isn't her. It's the women in the comments bookmarking screenshots for future inspo, never clocking the irony. To mimic wealth, you must now pay for maintenance that only the ultra-wealthy can afford quarterly. And that's where the resting rich face started. And now everybody wants it.
Have you heard about the resting rich face? The resting rich face is characterized by raised eyebrows, close-set eyes, rosy cheeks, positive oral commissures, which is the corner of your lips, and good dentofacial development. Faces deemed rich were also thought to be more trustworthy, warm, and competent. Rule and colleagues mentioned that these first impressions can become a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy and can influence your interactions and the opportunities you have. It is important to note that this study was done on white individuals. There is currently no study exploring this subject on non-white individuals. So people might have assumptions about your income based solely on your face, but are those assumptions correct? They found that the subjects of the study guessed the individual's socioeconomic status correctly 68% of the time, significantly better than random chance. So obviously you should take these findings with a grain of salt, but it is always interesting to see how people can make quick assumptions based solely on someone's appearance.
Everyone wants to look rich and classy without even trying, even though they're trying very, very hard.
Another thing I learned from rich, successful, smart people is this. If you look the part, you can get away with it. For example, I just saw this video from the Kaplan twins, and their mom was in the video, and she had a real Birkin and a fake Birkin. And she's like, why would I ever pay full price for a real Birkin when I can get a fake one that looks exactly the same? No one would ever know. But why would no one ever know? Why would no one ever question her in particular? It's because she looks rich. She is rich.
It's so weird to me that what looks rich to people in Jersey or that area, the Kaplan twins' mom, no shade, would look like a dive bar bartender in the sticks of a lot of places. It's the 70-30 rule. As long as 30% of your stuff is real, 70% can be fake. That's crazy. The rich people are bragging about how good their fakes are, and the poor people are killing themselves to obtain the real luxury. We're in the twilight zone. Holy crap. Why can't women come to realize that having their natural features might actually be a really good thing?
I am so sick of seeing beautiful girls on my For You page getting plastic surgery done, and it literally makes me so upset. But let me explain why. Just to clarify, this is not me having a go at people who like choose to get work done. I have absolutely no problem with people who accept help to change the way they look. My issue just lies with people choosing to imitate another individual's beauty rather than just appreciating it. Something I see a lot with women. So I specifically want to talk about rhinoplasty here, just because I feel like a lot of people are really insecure about their nose. So let me share a personal experience. I used to be so insecure about my nose when I was younger that I literally had a save folder on Instagram called Face Inspo, like face inspo. And I would spend a good chunk of time on Instagram just comparing my features to those of the other beautiful women I had seen online. I'm pretty sure the insecurity stemmed from the boyfriend that I had when I was 12 years old, who literally broke up with me because according to him, my nose was too big. I just spent hours researching online different plastic surgeons and exploring different procedures that were available as well as the cost involved. And I even went to a few appointments as a 16-year-old to get external advice. So it got to the point that during my early teens, I actually ended up creating this mentality in my head that the minute I got a nose job, all of my issues surrounding self-confidence would just kind of disappear and then I'd end up feeling beautiful again. But for some reason, I could actually never end up committing to getting the nose job. And then it hit me. I actually never had a problem with the way I looked. My problem lay in the comparative nature in which I would compare myself to other women that I'd see online. I realised I'd only be changing my features to assimilate to like westernized beauty standards that people used to make fun of me for not having.
It's insane because it's like we grow up thinking we have to compare ourselves to other women. Like we have to look like somebody else instead of just saying, wow, that person is so pretty, or wow, I love her lips, or wow, I love her hair, and being able to just move on and take it with a grain of salt. But that really comes with a level of self-confidence I think you really develop when you get a little bit older. Whereas when you're like 14 or 12, when your boyfriend breaks up with you because your nose is too big, that can affect you for a decade, if not longer.
And to be completely honest, I still do struggle some days with the way I look, but I've come to realize it's actually just completely normal. And I've also found a lot of self-confidence in trying to overcome my insecurities, and personally, I think it's made me a lot stronger as an individual.
That was a really good video, you guys. I have a tear in my eye. I have a tear in my damn eye from this girl's video. What a wonderful experience. This. Why are women obsessed with looking the same as each other? The most beautiful women in history always had a unique feature. Yes, love this. I hate that plastic surgery has become standardized because it's a big decision and it does not fix everything at all. I swear so many of our first insecurities stem from a core memory with a boy. Literally every comment my ex ever said to me, as well as like when I was growing up and boys called me fat, like I'll never, that's my body dysmorphia right there. I think when you go through that big full circle of like, oh, I need to go get my whole face done, or my nose job is literally going to save my life, and then you realize that it was never going to do that in the first place, and whether you got the nose job or not, you would have to come to terms with yourself at some point. I think what happens is people get so incredibly infatuated with chasing this ideal, chasing this face that seems so out of reach, and if you don't ever stop, you'll never accept yourself. And girlies, we all suffer from the luteal phase demons, you know what I mean? We be in that luteal phase sometimes, and sometimes we think we're a little bit ugly, or sometimes we think that our body looks bad, or sometimes we're bloated, or we ate too many chips last night. And it's an endless cycle, but being able to understand that it's literally just a phase, it's a blip in the wind. Some days you'll feel absolutely incredibly beautiful, and then other days you might not feel your best, and that's just life. Everybody feels that way. The billion-dollar beauty economy needs to keep you panicked so you subscribe to your face. The moment you decide that time isn't a failure, their entire business model wobbles. Every single time your reflection offers you a list of improvements, remember this. Every single line on your face is a receipt that you survived one more day on this planet. And that's just not a defect. That your nose, though you might find it very discomforting to know that it's not the perfect nose you've seen on Cindy Wolfie, is the nose that has been passed down from all of your ancestors before you. Instead of fighting your face, why don't you try and fight for it? Moisturize it, laugh through it, let it wrinkle, let it age. Because at the end of all of these facelifts and fillers, the boldest look at the end of the day might be, and just stay with me here, being recognizable to yourself and showing up and being the best you that you possibly can be. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please throw a big fat thumbs up and also comment down below. Have you guys been fighting your faces this week? Because if you have, stop it, girl. You are way too pretty to be fighting anything about yourself. You are perfect. If you enjoyed today's video, you can go ahead and click here to find out why every single person is starting to look the same, and it is actually uncanny valley. We need to stop it. Or you guys can go ahead and click here to find out all about how facelifts are literally the new fillers. It is like at the level of extremes, you guys. You know I only make these videos because I love you and I truly want the best for you. I hope you have an amazing day or night or whenever you're watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.